Welcome back from that short break, and in case you're just joining us, yes, you're not late. This is the beginning of our conversation for the day, and we all know that there's technology everywhere. We know what that is. The social media is there. We know what that is also. How well are we using the social media? To discuss this with me, I have Ladokun Olajumoke. She's a counselor, and you definitely want to listen to this lady. Let's welcome her to the studio. Welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
All right. Ladokun, the influence of social media is, especially on youths, is what we're discussing. And we know there's technology everywhere. As I said in my opening, we hear of social media everywhere. These are supposed to be good things that has happened, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your take on this?
Oh, I love technology. I love what it has done for us. I love that it has brought us out of time and out of location. It has given so many opportunities. You have people that live in a particular place and walk a million miles away.
Yes.
All from their laptop, their iPads, their tablets. They're able to do so much more. Connect with people all over the world. So that's one thing I'm glad. You've not been to so many places, but you've seen and experienced it all from the comforts of your zone. And we cannot but thank God for technology.
Yes, definitely. And for technology, we're seated here, people are watching us at home, and it's a good feeling, actually. Okay, how impactful has this been to the common Nigerian? Even though you've said a lot about the impacts, people are in their homes and they can work from their homes, but I would like you to talk more on that.
Okay, personally, I feel like we've abused it, like everything that when the use is not known. It's only a fraction of youths that have taken advantage of this technology. You find youths that work with the same time zone as New York, that's the fact that they're in Nigeria. But we cannot also negate the fact that there are some youths that have now taken advantage of social media to their detriment. We now have a high rise of mental health. We now have worsening decline in social behavior, because some people are lost in the world of technology. There are people that would not leave their house, would not bathe, would not join any social activities, and they say they are introverts, but no, they live in their phones. And the detriment is that it doesn't add anything to them. Instead, they've allowed technology take everything from them. Take their time, take their health, take their mental space. They now have fear of missing out. It's called FOMO. FOMO. Okay. They have the fear of missing out. They want to do everything that somebody in New York is doing, not considering the fact that the person may be making money from social media. So the negative side cannot be overemphasized, because people are now mentally living. One thing we should realize when it comes to social media and then technology is that people only show you their best parts. And if you are not conscious of that, you compare yourself to people that are showing you only the good days, only the good side, only the good clothes. And you cannot measure up. So we have people that have a negative, severe anxiety trying to measure up to these people, compare their daily lives to these people. So that's the negative part that cannot be. There's so many negative parts, but that's one thing I just want to mention now, that you cannot overemphasize that people are comparing their lives to something that is not real, just because that's what technology has given to them.
You spoke about people always showing their best foot out on social media.
Yes.
And even though we're talking about the influence of social media on the youth, I want to bring it down a little bit to upbringing.
Okay.
I'm sure when you and I were growing up, the social media wasn't a big thing. It wasn't even there, And you saw that you would sit around the dining, eat with everyone, chat with your siblings and parents, and knowledge was being inculcated into you physically.
Yes.
But now you would have a child, you would see a child of, let's say, 6, 7, he has an iPad.
Yes.
The one that shocked me one day was, we're talking about cartoons, and we asked a child, what's your favorite cartoon on DSTV? I was like, no, I don't do DSTV again, Netflix. And I'm like,
oh, okay.
And I'm like, Netflix. All of this, what would you say that or how would you rate it? How has the social media influenced parenting? Because the set of children we are grooming these days, they are, sometimes you just want to sit down and look at them and just keep looking.
I would blame that on the parents. I think parents are now excusing their parenting time with iPads. You know, if you don't give your child iPads or tablets or social media or internet, they will need your attention. But because parents now want to choke that time that the child needs them, so what they do is they feed their child, bathe their child. Once the child is less busy, they just give them iPad so that they don't have to give themselves. But they didn't train us that way. When we were growing up, TV was something you watched with the family.
Yes.
And you watch NT at night, watch the news at 9, you deliberate on what happened that day, everybody's able to communicate. But now, we have parents that once they get home, the kids have eaten, have you eaten? Have you done your own fun? Okay, next thing, you can have your iPad, because they don't want to communicate. Could it be that they don't, because they don't have something to give their children? Because now even their world is consumed by the artificial nature of what social media has given to them. So they don't even want to take the time to ask, how is the child doing? So we now have high rise of bullying. We now have children that now misbehave because the parents are not doing their work at home. They said that the teachers do it for them in school. And then everybody is saying, oh, it's technology. When your child learns an accent from cartoon. I know of a family that they allow their kids watch cartoon because of the accents that the child is learning. And they brag about it, like, oh, my daughter learns to speak British, she provide cartoon, so I encourage cartoon. I'm like, okay, what happens to talking to your child? What happens to when you find time to like engage your child? So that in that way, technology has negatively affected parenting. But we have ways that we can curb it. How then do we curb it, you may ask? There's phone time. Limit your children's screen time. Well, before you do that, be ready to answer questions, because 6-year-olds are curious. 7-year-olds are curious. Be ready to engage your child. Find out what's going on in their mental space. Find out what's going on in school. When we come back from school, then your parents will ask, what happened in school today? Who taught you? So this teacher was not around. It will shock you that most parents don't even know who their class teacher, the kids' class teacher is. Because they just be like, drop your child off, pick up your child, or the school bus does that for you. In the age of technology, they send you a WhatsApp to let you know when your child is closing, and you're like, oh, okay, the nanny will be home to pick your child. You hardly see your children. So you can now change all of that by making a segment in your home and say, see, no phones at the table. You are limited to probably 1 hour of screen time, because we cannot neglect the importance of technology. And then find time to engage as a family. Find things to do as a family. Engage your children in chore. Find out what's going on in their head, because social media is teaching them so many things. And then you find a child that wake up tomorrow and confronts the parents, because now they tell you to speak up for your rights. That is what is on social media. And then the child wakes up and is questioning the parent. We could not do that.
You dare not.
We could not do that. But they'll tell you, you have a voice, use it. Is child abuse if your parents shout at you. And I'm like, what happened to the reset slap that we used to get?
Yes.
Yeah, we use, and it helped us. So now a child will literally tell you, because they see it on social media, that you shouldn't, is abuse if your parents give you rice instead of spaghetti. And you see children acting out. So you have to pause that social media. Find out what they've learned on social media, or learn it with them that no, that is not the right way to go. Because you cannot take it off them completely, because most of them, they have ICT time in school. So you can't take it off them completely. But at the same time, you have to take time to find out what they're digesting, what they're feeding on, and then tell them what is right and what is wrong, and limit the screen time, because we now have screen time addiction for children.
Yes.
There are children that are addicted to screen time. So when you take away their iPad, you've taken away their lifeline, so to say. So those are the things that the parents now have to step up their game. Find out what to do, what not to do. Engage your child. You brought a human into this world. Fill that child with the knowledge that was filled into you, and do better, because social media has helped us to learn what not to do, what to do, and what's important.
You see that reset slap you spoke about. There's a huge debate about parenting and discipline, but this is a topic for another day. We will go on a short break. When we come back, my guest will still be in the studio, and she has a lot. You can see from all she has said that she is loaded, and she still has a lot to talk about. So please, let's go on this short break. When we come back, Good Morning Abuja will continue.
Thank you today. Captivating, intriguing and quite revealing. Join us every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. as we connect with the grassroots. Connecting with the Grassroots is a documentary series that showcases the other side of the nation's capital. Keep a date with NTA Channel 5 Abuja weekly as we unravel the rich cultural heritage of the indigenous FCT.
Welcome back from that break. If you've just joined us, you've missed a lot. But hey, my guest is still here, so you can still do a bit of catching up. Ladokun Olajumoke, the counselor, is still here. So you have a wealth of knowledge that I really want to tap from, and I hope that our guests are listening and picking some of these things. Now, I remember that before the coming of social media, when you dress up, you know, you look at yourself again. You want to cover some vital parts, but these days it's out there on the social media. Everything is just out there. And do you also think that because of the social media, that violence, drugs, sex, addiction seems to be on the increase?
Yes. One of the negative effects of social media is called FOMO, the fear of missing out. So because people are addicted to spending their time so much on social media, they want to do exactly what they are seeing on social media. That's why there's an high rise now in surgery. Everybody wants to get their body in a certain shape, in a certain type, because that is what social media says is acceptable. So we now have people that inject themselves with all sorts if they cannot afford the surgery. So we have people that say sex is this, and then before you know it, somebody ingests that information and acts it out. And because of the things that are going on, because there's no check and balance, there's free access to social media, this thing is seeping so much into the youth. So they are lashing out. Nobody's telling you the adverse effects of sex, for instance. And you just find teenagers, youth, young adults just engaging in it because somebody said that's the trio. That means that you are independent. That means you have control of your body. That means if you can give your body to anybody, it proves to you that you have a control of your body, because internet said so. Because somebody got a microphone on internet and told you that, oh, what does it mean for a woman to be liberated? His ability to choose who you have sex with. So just go out there, choose the guy you want to have sex with and go on.
And then it happens.
And then it happens. And then it happens so much that before you know it, a young lady has done so much. And because they don't have to leave their house to even meet those men, social media will bring those men to them. You find that the high rise in violence, that ladies are traveling from one state to the other to go and meet somebody they met on social media. And then you find that maybe the person was a fake or used the wrong picture or something, and then that's the violence comes in. So we've had cases like that. And the truth is, it would not stop. We only have to preach it enough to people that they have to get control of themselves. Who are you? Find your identity so that social media doesn't define for you who you are, and you are not missing out on anything per se. It's just what they want you to see. The person that did the surgery would not tell you that, oh, they have to go for timely checkup, or they couldn't sit for 2 months after their surgery. No, they'll come on social media and tell you, oh, they have a new body. And you think that's the thing, so you are saving up for it. The lady that got a new bone straight hair for millions of naira will just come on social media and say, oh, my hair is 1 million naira, and you are feeling, oh, I can't afford a hair of 100,000. Did she tell you how she got that money? No. So we have to question our ideals. That's where the school comes in, the church comes in, the mosque comes in. They have to now do a better job because the social media is doing it for them. They have to preach to the youth that this is what is going on, this is how to counter it. You have to know who you are, have your own identity, so you don't go looking for it elsewhere. So our parents also have to do that job, so it curbs violence to a point, because drugs and all of these things, you find somebody on social media peddling a certain drug, and if you are not careful, you wouldn't even know. Now they don't even use money. They have all sorts of money online. They have game points, they have Bitcoin, they have all sorts, to name a few. And then so you don't even have to have a physical cash to purchase those drugs, and then they'll drop it off for you. They have networks that if you don't do your job at home, social media will do it for you. Okay. And so there's a high increase in violence, in hunger, in depression, in mental health retardation. There's so much going on now.
Just keep counting it, really.
There's so much going on.
I'm sure when the social media was invented or introduced, it was meant to do great good.
Yes.
How can Nigeria as a country do more in terms of harnessing the potentials of youths? Because if you look at it, we're intelligent. The group of youths coming up are highly bright, and have a bright future, but because of all the ills and all of this, it's, how can we do, what can we do to harness these potentials and put it into positive use? Okay,
I'm going to start from the government. One thing, the day I realized that China had an algorithm of what they can show, whatever it is that is going on on social media, there's an algorithm that sees it out and shows them only the intelligence technology, shows them only the inventive technology. So their children are not exposed to what we are exposed to. There's a ban on it. There's a limit to what Instagram or YouTube can show when you're in China. It shows you only how to build body parts, how to do this machine, how to do something with your brain. That's what the algorithm shows them. That's where the government comes in. The government can actually put a ban too and say, okay, there's a limit to what you can show in our space too. We want our children to be exposed to only the intelligent things. That's one. And on the home front too, you have to limit the time frame that you give your children. It shocks me. I have a 10-year-old that has an iPhone, the latest iPhone, and I was wondering what for. Why are you exposing that child to that level of technology now? So the parents, in a bid to show a social class, give their children what they do not need. So that has to stop. If I thought you give them access to technology, you have to explain to them the importance of technology. You need it for your own fun. You need it to catch up with a community. You need it for lessons. There's you lesson, all sort of lessons that are out there. But please don't play with it so much that you feed into what you cannot. My children have a tablet. I have a ban on it. There are some sites they cannot access. There are some consumption. They can't even, there's a limit to what they can see. They can only see about 5 sites, and it's so limited that every day I check what they're checking. I want to see. And then there's a face for it. They're in school time now. They are not on social media. They are not on internet. They're not watching cartoon right now because I'm paying a lot in school, so I shouldn't dilute it with internet.
Definitely.
So, and on the church front too, in the church, in the mosques, in our worship centers, they have to let youths know that people would not show you the backside. It's the consciousness for me. You have to reorientate and reprogram their minds that everything you're seeing on social media is the good side of it. They don't show you the flip side. They will preach what is not. But when you take your time to sift through those information, you can tell for yourself that it's bad. And you find out that the people that invent the social media, their children are not on social media. They hardly use this social media.
That's the thing for me. Like,
that's the thing. So they know the adverse effects.
They do.
So we can now preach the good side. The good side is that you can get a job in another country while you're here. You can earn in foreign currencies. Those are the good sides of it. You can do a study, your master's, your PhD in another country while you're in this country. So those are the good sides that we should put in front. And then you can learn a skill. You can learn a trade. You can learn to build you can learn so much on social media.
Definitely.
Focus on the good
Definitely.
side.
Sorry, I have to cut you. This is
No problem.
much we can take. I enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on. Good morning, Abuja, Ladokun Olajumoke.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's nice.
Well, it has been an interesting time with Ladokun Olajumoke. She gave different sides to this topic, and I enjoyed myself, and I hope that you, our esteemed viewer, also enjoyed yourself listening to this, and that a lot of corrections will be made on the use of social media, especially our children, our youths, and Nigeria will become a better country if we keep correcting social ills. Now, Good Morning Abuja will continue after this timeout. Please stay with us on the Unity Station.